saying? Okay.
Hey, what is up, everybody? In this video, we are going to be talking about life begins where fear ends.
Getting out
of your comfort zone.
Of your comfort zone. Getting out of your comfort zone.
All right. So as you guys come on, let us know where you're from so that you can help David with his geography.
Yes, say hello. And also, we're going to give you a little secret weapon at the end to take your badass life to the next level.
For those of us who don't know you, for those of you who don't know us yet,
I'm Heather.
And I'm David.
From Sunrise Garden.
Helping people create
badass lives. Hi again, Chelsea. I see Chelsea coming online. As you come on, say hi, because we love to see who is online with us this morning on YouTube or wherever you are in the world. Let us know where you are in the world.
Wainwright, what is up to Canada?
Awesome. Okay, so I want to ask you a question to put in the comments for us. What is one thing,
one external thing
that happened to you that pushed you out of your comfort zone? You didn't do it. It happened to you.
When you're getting pushed out of your comfort zone was beyond your control, when it was done to you, some external event that pushed you out of your comfort zone. And let us know in the comments.
Some examples of this while you're thinking could be you're going through divorce, somebody cheated on you, you get fired from a job. Granted, some of these things you might have had a hand in causing the lead up to it, but it happens to you. Okay, it's busting your balls. So let us know in the comments. Elizabeth says, leaving my career. Okay. So sometimes things shift and we really don't have a choice. We get pushed out of our comfort zone and into the deep end. So that's what we're talking about.
And Nima says all of the above.
Yes, yes, yes,
awesome.
Yes.
So also, if you guys want to hit that like button, that would help us a great deal. Hitting that like button if you like what we do. Ex-boyfriend beat me, had to pay mortgage by myself. Absolutely. That's another big one that pushes you way outside of your comfort zone.
That's a big one, Chelsea.
Yeah.
But let's talk about comfort zones for a minute before we get into, I think we have 5 tips for you to help you get out of your comfort zone in an easier way, intentionally before you get pushed out of the tree. So I want to talk about this, the goldfish bowl, right? We have all heard the goldfish bowl analogy. The goldfish bowl is a safe environment.
Yeah.
You can be the big fish in the little pond and you can be a badass, but you're still in a little pond.
Right.
It's safe, right?
Right. It's safe. And you've reached this level where you're not really scared about anybody eating you because, well, you're the big fish.
Right. So,
okay. But when it gets to that point where you've stopped growing because of the little bowl, the fish bowl where you can't grow anymore, it's time to face that risk of being eaten by going into a bigger environment, going into a bigger pond or into the ocean. You've got a ton of experiences, a ton of opportunities to learn and to grow and to get better at being you, but there's a bigger fear, a bigger risk.
So what I like about the goldfish analogy is like the goldfish's bowl is only a certain size, right? And you can be the big fish in the little pond for a very long time. But at some point you grow, so it gets less and less comfortable in the little pond. Even though you're the big fish, you're kind of like, you're growing and there's less room. So sometimes your discomfort of being the biggest fish is actually the thing that pushes you out of the goldfish bowl because you really don't fit anymore.
And it literally cramps your own style. You're cramping your own style when you get too big for that little bowl.
So life gets richer only by us experiencing something different, because we're not going to get richer experiences by staying in the goldfish bowl, but richer experiences require a little bit more risk for the richer experience.
And a great example of this is when the forest burns down. And we've always seen stories of, or we've all seen stories of forests that end up getting burned down. And what happens after that? It's not about the forest getting burned down. Yeah, that's a horrible thing. But what happens after that? The nutrients in the soil get enriched because of the forest burning down. And we actually have a couple farmers on today. So we've got Chelsea and Sean, who says I'm co-stalking. So you guys know when you've got to create ways to enrich and nurture the soil. Okay, it's the same thing with your life. It's the same thing with things that you're doing. You've got to enrich your life by giving yourself better opportunities.
Right. So tip number 1, getting out of your comfort zone. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. You got to get out of the goldfish bowl. So how do you do that?
How to get out of your comfort zone. One is external motivation. We talked about that earlier. So if any of you guys have an external motivator, something that happened outside of you that pushed you out of your comfort zone, that would be an example, like divorce, getting fired, things like that. The other one is internal motivation. So this is when you have something that you choose to push yourself into your courage zone.
So only in discomfort can we keep growing, right? So the discomfort zone encourages complexity. It invites complexity into our life. Forced on you, like when you get fired, it's forced on you, or an intentional, like doing something that challenges your comfort. I've gotten to the point in my life where I choose to push myself further and further because I've been on the external end where I've just got pushed into it. And that's a lot crazier and a lot more chaotic. So choose to do something that pushes you out of your comfort zone.
Right. And this also gives you, number one, it gives you more control over the experience, but also as you train yourself to get to the other side of getting pushed out of your comfort zone, the other side of where that fear ends and you start doing things, you're creating pathways in your brain that go, you know what? I love the results of getting pushed out of my comfort zone. Right. Nobody really likes getting pushed out of the comfort zone. But if you can focus on the results, and you do that through training yourself by doing it more often so that you have more data points in your head to go, you know what? Being uncomfortable sucks. But what happens after that?
Well, I think you start to enjoy the challenge of challenging yourself, and that becomes more familiar than staying stuck in a goldfish bowl.
So the next part here is let us know anytime that you have intentionally pushed yourself outside of your comfort zone and the results that you got.
So tip number 2 is life begins where fear ends.
Yep.
And this is, I think, something that we should memorize as a mantra.
Right. But what does that actually mean? Okay. When we're talking about life begins where fear ends, we're talking about the mind itself is comforted by things that it's familiar with, things that you already know. The mind associates a comfort with it, which can be a detriment because it keeps you in that safe zone. When the mind is afraid of things that it doesn't know yet. So how do we face this fear?
So learn more about things that scare you. Simple answer, right? We all like simple answers here at Zen Rose Garden. There's no greater fear than the unknown. Understand that. Just get to know the thing. So
we're afraid of the things that we don't know. So how do we face that fear? Know the thing. Get to know the thing. Become more familiar with whatever that thing is that's scaring you, that's making you constricted in this goldfish or goldfish bowl. In this goldfish.
That's really...
in this goldfish bowl. So as the mind knows more, there's less fear.
I'm inside a goldfish. You just gave me that visual, like Jonah and the whale. I'm inside a goldfish. That's really uncomfortable. I'm thinking stabbing my way out. Whoa. Sorry, goldfish.
Yeah. So as the mind knows more, there's less fear. Yes. So that's where your life really starts to begin, is when you start to alleviate the fears in your own life.
As the saying goes, fear makes the wolf seem bigger. Fear makes the goldfish seem
like and the greatest fear is fear itself.
Fear makes the goldfish seem like a high-rise condo, if you're too comfortable there. So just, get...
All right.
I'm just trying, it seemed clever in my head. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. We could have flopped.
Yeah.
Like the goldfish. So tip number 3, find people that challenge you.
Absolutely.
Sometimes we get super comfortable with our yes men, yes women around us. And we're like, yes, I'm the best goldfish in the goldfish bowl.
Because all my friends tell me so.
Yeah, but that's not helping you. So it's nice to hear it. Yeah. But after a while, with a steady diet of, Hostess Twinkies, you're going to get fat. So find people that challenge you. Sorry, Hostess Twinkies. I love you. I do. So this can be assistants in a professional capacity, like coaches, teachers, or even your parents who are professionals at being parents. If you have good parents that are more professional, people need to be pushed into complexity. And I love this word. We need to be pushed into complexity in order to grow. And we will stay there until we are pushed by our own momentum or external momentum. It's just a fact of us being humans.
And when we're talking about gaining external motivation with people, when we're talking about finding the people that challenge you, going out and getting a coach is a great way to get yourself pushed out of your comfort zone. It's a great way because they're gonna pretty much call you on where you're blocking yourself and bring you into that space and place where you start going, okay, I could live my life the way this is, or I could take this advice and look at the places that I'm pushing myself or not pushing myself. And having that external motivation, having that person to cheer you on into that transition from being in the comfort zone, breaking free, and experiencing your courage zone.
I think coaches and teachers are good to hire a professional, even though you might be like, oh, there's nothing wrong with me, I don't need it, because they're not emotionally attached to being your yes men.
Right.
They're not afraid to tell you, no, stop it. And the fun thing is, it's helpful. The fun thing is, the fun thing is I just lost my train of thought.
Right.
So while certainty is nice to have, it might be stopping you from your undiscovered passion. And I love that this comment popped into my head right when Elizabeth said, right now I have 4 part-time jobs, which seems scary in my old self, lack of stability, where my new journey, I'm having a blast, learning new things I enjoy, which you would not have learned had you stayed in your comfort zone. Because new experiences bring undiscovered passions.
And get out of the goldfish bowl. Get out of the goldfish bowl.
It's even more meaningful for me because I'm in the goldfish, right? So baby birds get pushed out of the nest. There's no other way to learn how to fly. You might splat on your face, or you might fly.
I want to address this one real quick for a moment, the baby birds element. So when we're talking about coaches, when we're talking about people that can help you get out of your comfort zone and push you out of your comfort zone, when you have a good coach, they're not going to push you until you're ready. Okay? Because they can assess you and see that you're ready to take your next step. You're just afraid of it. And that's when the baby bird gets pushed out. Not when they're absolutely unready to fly, when they don't have the tools and they're going to literally die. A bird is not going to push their baby out and go, okay, see you later. Hope you learn how to use your wings you don't have yet. No, that's never going to happen.
I'm really curious now about how mama birds know when it's time to push. I mean, no, it's instinct, but is it just okay, it's time, everybody? Or is little, baby Josephine needs an extra couple of days? Is that decision made? I don't know that because I'm not an ornithologist.
Or a bird.
So I'm curious about that now. If anybody knows about bird psychology, drop it in the comments.
Bird is the word.
Oh, dear.
It most certainly is.
So tip number 4, it's not as scary as look. It's never as scary as it looks.
Right. So trigger it yourself. Whatever the fear is, trigger it yourself, push yourself, do something that makes you uncomfortable every day.
And my girl, Eleanor Roosevelt, I knew her or something and we had coffee, said that do something that makes you uncomfortable or scares you every day and you will become stronger very quickly. And that might mean use a new coffee creamer, but whatever it is for you that scares you, do something and you'll build in degrees into doing the harder things. And pretty soon your life is full of rich experiences. I dated a parachute jumper once, and full disclosure, I never jumped out of the plane, but we did have a discussion about jumping out of planes and doing a tandem jump. And I said, I'm just afraid I'm going to go splat. Something will go wrong. I know you're a professional, but ... He said, it's not the jump itself that's scary. It's the moments up to the jump. He says,
everything leading up.
I got you. It's fine. And we stopped dating. I don't know if it's because I was too afraid of jumping out, but and that's the truth.
Sean says, I'm called the jack of all trades, but master of none, as I have apprenticed in 3 separate trades. And then Matthew says, remember that the full quote is jack of all trades, master of none is better than a master of one.
So I want to revise that even further because a jack back in Shakespeare's day was someone who was good at multiple things. So it wasn't back then when it kind of sort of originated. It's a term that's been around a long time, but they would call you a jack if you were the best person to have around.
The Renaissance person, the go-to person.
Yeah, so it became jack of all trades, master of none, or master of one later in the etymology of the word. But jack, it didn't start out being a jack of all trades. That guy's a jack, which means you want him to build your house, to do your plumbing, because they've mastered many crafts.
And so this is also why the jack is used in a deck of cards as a placeholder, because the jack can take place of any of the cards in the deck.
You're talking about
you know that? No, the jack.
Is it the Joker?
Or no, yeah,
It's
you're right, the Joker.
Okay, we gave you wrong information. Edit.
Pay no attention to that guy.
Okay, so while we are all scared of uncertainty, certainty does not ever lead to possibility. So in your life, love the people that you love completely. Leave someone if it's a terrible situation. Right. You know, don't, you know, there's other parameters than just leaving someone, but I mean, don't stay in that horribly, obviously dysfunctional relationship.
If it's not working for you, let go.
Right. Leaving a job is hard for us. Right. So, but if it's a terrible job and clearly there's other possibilities that you might not know of, you know, don't be afraid to say, like Elizabeth said, she's doing all these part-time
4 different jobs. Right.
And eventually, Elizabeth, I'm sure you're going to find that niche that is just resonates with you and speaks to you and devote what you want to that and get rid of the things that don't work.
So with that, I want to ask you guys to bring up something to the surface. And that is, what is it that you are doing because of a fear of failure? What are you keeping in your life? What are you continuing to perpetuate in your life because you're afraid if you let this go, something bad's going to happen?
Or what are you not doing because of fear of failure?
Yeah, but the purpose for that was going into the leaving a job, holding on to a job, holding on to a person, holding on to things because they're comfortable. Right. Okay. So what have you been doing that you're holding on because it's comfortable? So okay. Let us know in the comments.
So vulnerability takes courage and it's hard. But once we begin to tell the story of the whole person of who we are, full disclosure, like I said, like I can tell the story about the parachute jumper, but I never actually jumped on the parachute. So I get full disclosure. So if you can have the vulnerability to tell the whole story about yourself, to tell who you are with your whole heart, you invite rich experiences because it encourages other people to tell their whole story with their whole heart. Our impulse in life, because of fear, is to restore order as soon as possible, right? But sometimes when we restore order as soon as possible and don't let it be a little chaotic for a minute to see what rises to the surface, we enable ourselves and other people to stay in line. Right. To stay in the same experience because it's always worked, but it's not working like this. It's just working like this. Okay.
And Elizabeth says, this year I blew everything up. Relationships, career, friendships, my growth year, looking at me to create a better life. That is powerful. That is the moment when you've had enough in your life where the fear of the unknown just doesn't hold that same kind of power anymore. When the fear of staying stagnant becomes more than the fear of jumping into something new. So kudos to you, Elizabeth, for doing that. Chelsea says, I've held on to friends, quote, longer than I should because they held memories mostly.
Girl, absolutely. We've all done that. Absolutely. I've done that for decades, and then realize I'm being the loyal friend, and then I realize it doesn't go both ways. Right. So the road less traveled is sometimes and usually the richest. Doing the same thing invites predictability in our lives, but doing something different invites complexity and unpredictable situations that bring that richness to us. It's scary, yes.
You don't know the treasures that are out there unless you go hunting. Think about that for a minute. All right. So
you just learned about out of your comfort zone. I hope we pushed you in your thought process a little bit today.
Now it's time for that secret weapon.
We want to know where you are on your self-growth journey today. Are you at level 1?
And that would be just starting. If you're just starting, we've got access, you've got access to our free resources that we call the ZRG Freedom. In there, we've got tons of meditations and videos to get you started on your journey.
Or are you at level 2?
And level 2 is for those who have been practicing. And if you've been practicing, you've kind of been doing and applying some of these things for a while, then we want to invite you to join our free Badass Facebook group where we do weekly giveaways. We go live twice a week with self-growth tips on how to create a badass life.
Or are you at level 3?
And level 3 are those people who are ready to level up. You've been doing this for a while. You've been around the block. We want you to join the Zen Ed tribe, the Zen Ed group. in the past called it CRT Global. This is our actual first releasing the new name.
Didn't know we were doing that today.
We've been doing a rebrand on this particular thing. And this is Zen Ed, where you get your education from 16 different teachers with 20 plus new classes every month and all of the replays to help you educate your life in the most simple manners possible. Okay, so the Zen of your education, self-growth on your terms.
So guys, we created this site after 10 years of coaching and teaching together here in Las Vegas and around the world, because we started to teach people around the world. And we're like, how can we create a space where it's simple for people to access at a really great price, where we can still be active and coach and be there present with you on the ground. And so we've selected several of our favorite teachers from around the world that are in there on that mission with us. So it's really easy to join. So you can join whatever you feel comfortable with, any of those 3 levels. Join up, join all 3.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of people, some of the people on this live with us right now are
in all 3.
In all 3, which is really awesome because we see you everywhere we go.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's really easy to join right now because we've got a special going on at least through the end of the year to help you get started on your self-growth journey. So we love you so much for joining us today. But also, if you liked this video,
hit that like button.
Yes. And if this video helped you in any way, feel free to share it with a friend, because we like to share.
Right. If you've got any questions, let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. For more badass life tips,
be sure to subscribe
and click that bell to turn notifications on,
so you're the first to know
when we drop a new video
or go live.
Thanks for watching.
We'll see you guys in the next video. That way.
Whichever way. Anyway, thanks for joining, and we'll catch you on the flip side.